Hello everybody, welcome back to It's Current Year for another quick battle ladder replay today. This is a rare sighting indeed. I'm playing the Vampire Coast. I'm up against World Beater 68, one short of possibly the best username you could possibly have, the nicest indeed. He's playing the Empire, so a tough matchup compounded by the fact that I know very, very little about the Vampire Coast as a faction, have very, very little experience using them. My opponent's build, however, quite a box we've got here. Spearmen with shields up the front, backed up by a couple of flagellants, backed up by triple huntsmen. Pretty meta in this matchup from what I've seen, from what I've, not that I've experienced it, but a couple of unit of halberdiers in the back, as well as some Empire Knights and a great cannon piece. For the hero core, there is a Witch Hunter, another hero that you don't see very often. He's coming in, looks like he's coming in with Accusation and Slippery. So, magical ammunition. Quite interesting because magical attacks and magical ammunition, which does have some applications and will have some applications against my army, as we'll see in a second. A light wizard with banishment, Far's protection, and also a net, which is quite surprised to not see fire here. That seems to be the meta. But up on the wagon, the pimp wagon himself, Volkmar the Grim. It looks like he's taken the Jade Griffin, as well as all the battle prayers, banishment, and soulfire bombardments and the like. So from what I can tell, it's a pretty meta Empire list. For my forces, we have some scurvy dogs on each flank. We have a front line of polearms, a staunch line of spears, except they're drowned and also dead. Behind them, I've got a couple of depth guard, and on the flanks, some sirens as a bit of a flanking force. Also got some fellbats in the air, so there's a lot of disruption tools in this list. Also have triple deck gunners because, like I said, I don't have a lot of experience with this faction, but they seem to be a good unit. And my hero core, Vampire Fleet Captain of Vampires. You'll see why this person has been taken because, in a second. But she is, I don't know if they're a she or they're a girl, Taunt, so some debuffs here. The speed of Lycos, Scroll, Spoiler Alert. I don't use this. Power Stone, Gaze of Nagash, Invocation, and Drown Dead. And leading the force, I am a man of culture. I love me my Warhammer ladies. Aranessa Saltspite. She's coming in with the Kraken's Bane, so she gives off a bit of an AoE bonus to melee attack and large, as well as Manan's Luck, All Hands Hoy, and Spearfish's Net for her little snare ability. So first thing I noticed from my opponent's force is that it's very stationary. So I am going to do a big, basically just a big advance, and I'm pretty confident that I can keep the deck gunners safe without too many mobile threats rolling around. No pistoliers, not a great deal of Empire Knights. I've got the Sirens as this flanking force. They're actually pretty good against Empire Knights in general. And just with their AP. So we're just positioning around on our flanks. Obviously the scurvy dogs. The deck gunners are going to just tee some shots off into Volkmar. It's probably not actually worth it because you can see here, he's just going to heal straight through it and basically be up to full strength. So I'm going to basically get up on this cannon because I noticed that's the first thing. Now obviously to my eye, these huntsmen aren't here, and I know that there's something lurking around here, and it's most likely in the middle of this formation. I'm going to be forced to use Invocation of Nehek because I want to bring models back. Obviously, obviously they're not going to, crumble in the time that it takes me to advance on this cannon. But obviously I'm full ammo, so I want to be taking the biggest toll I can for that. So back up to 24 models, which is really nice. The cannons are quite punishing, and as you'll see, the return fire here from the deck gunners can snipe cannon pieces quite well. So from the Empire's perspective, obviously a big long line of dead things coming up. Like I said, trying to orchestrate my collapse with the bats and the dogs on the flanks and in the rear, but I am seeing the huntsmen now. They're going to be revealed. Obviously shooting the depth guard, it's not ideal for me, but 100 or 90 armor, actually I thought they had 100 armor, but 90 armor and the ability to actually regen when they're in combat is nice. They will absolutely murder spears here. We do put the Spearfish's Net down, and Araness is going to go in for a bit of a Now we're going to see if we can get a bit of work done with Aranessa here, but the Sirens, knowing now that Volkmar is probably their biggest threat, and in the absence of any burning head, are going to make a mad dash for the middle here. They're going to jump in. As you can see here, I'm taking a lot of damage on these depth guard, probably more than I actually thought that I would in the initial sort of approach to these huntsmen. They are a very high DPS unit, but Volkmar is free. He's going to drop a massive banishment on the heads of these, zombie pirate polearms. They're going to get a little bit busted up by them. The depth guards, taking a fair bit of HP damage, but as I said, they do regen in combat, and they still have 43 models. Over here, we are going to see the Sirens clashing with the Empire Knights. This is a pretty good engagement for me all in all. Zombie Pirate deckhands obviously with their anti-large, but I am netted and they will get away. Now the deckhand, or the deck gunners rather, at this stage are completely online and obviously very, very little threat because the Cav is obviously forced to retreat here. The other unit of Cav, I believe, may have even actually been chased off in the early game. These Scurvy Dogs are going to come into the back line now and sense an opportunity to actually just finish off this great cannon piece. I sensed it, I saw obviously that it was out there having routed, and they're going to be finished off. Banishment will rip through, I believe not much at all. Actually, no, both my Sirens are still alive, so these ones are unfortunately crumbling. Flagellants are obviously going to do a bit of a number on zombie pirates, and my depth guard on this flank, I believe, have actually been completely killed. So I am going to put the taunt down on Volkmar because I sense an opportunity here to kill him. He's very low. Obviously, chuck his melee defense down to zip. I don't have anything really out here, but I do put the Spearfish's net as well. And even though it is a pretty bad fight for them, I am going to actually bring the Sirens out to try and finish him off. Likewise with the Scurvy Dogs, but this is very unfortunate. I've got almost no dogs in combat with them. Depth guard over this side have finished off, I believe, a unit of Flagellants and will need to be rerouted into the main fight. And I sense now with the deck gunners that the last remaining sort of threat to them is the Empire Knights here. I am going to muck them up on the remainder of some polearms, but these huntsmen out here proving a real nuisance, a real pain in my ass at the moment. The Witch Hunter here probably just teeing off and picking off Sirens model by model, and unfortunately, Volkmar just won't die. He's just healing through this damage. Obviously, probably not the ideal fight for the Sirens in retrospect, but I was keen to just try and finish him off. But with the the magic resist, I probably should just be shooting him at this point. Huntsmen unfortunately did manage to recloak themselves and are now firing back into the main line. My micros are obviously being a little bit sloppy here with these depth guard. The Vampire Fleet Captain, I've noticed from playing a little bit of them in the last couple of days, is no amazing combatant in their own right. They're not, they're 40 melee defense and 30 armor makes them very, very squishy, even compared to like the Vampire casters in the hero slots for the Vampire Counts, which are obviously is a faction that I have a fair bit of experience with. But there are some tattered Empire Knights. I wasn't too bothered about taking this charge. I did actually see it coming, and I thought, you know what, I'd rather just use the ammo where I need to. These Empire Knights in their tattered state may actually just be able to be broken off via leadership, but probably underestimated that a little bit. And I am going to turn, unfortunately, now with this unit. And I am obstructed, which is a real pain in the ass. So this one's going to keep teeing off. I know now that with some Sirens still on the field over here, the remaining magic damage, given that Volkmar has indeed... Oh, we missed it. Volkmar has indeed been taken down by Aranessa, who's now sort of semi-taking cover in the ruined carriage. But these huntsmen are really doing a bit of a number on her now. My depth guard are crumbling. Polearms are crumbling. Halberds, chewing through the last of these zombie pirates. And now some Flagellants are going to be, unfortunately, advancing on me. We're going to be forced to actually have to shoot them. Aranessa at the moment taking a massive amount of damage. She is accused as well. She's been accused of heresy as an undead but not quite undead unit and being blasted with the pistol from the Witch Hunter. In previous days, that was actually a direct damage spell, I think similar to a Spirit Leech, but I am going to try and get on the Witch Hunter, finish them off. I know I'm not too far away from army losses here, given that, you know, I still have my Depth Gunners, even though they are very low on ammo, they're pretty healthy. My Lord's healthy, not healthy, I beg your pardon, she's actually routing at the moment. But my Vampire Caster has died somewhere in all of this, and their body has returned to the earth once more. And with the Sirens left here, I'm pretty confident that nothing really in terms of the infantry causes me much grief, but the Witch Hunter, obviously with his magical attacks and magical ammunition, certainly does. So I'm just going to play a bit of keepings off now with Aranessa, basically try and shoot these halberdiers away from her so she doesn't rout again, and the Sirens can pretty much rotate around. We did unfortunately get, I think, one Flagellant, who's going to be... No, he's going to be dying. Well done, Scurvy Guns, or whatever you're called. Scurvy Guns? No, Deck Guns. Witch Hunter is broken. We do have some returning Huntsmen, but they're extremely tattered, only 21, and with the loose formation and obviously physical resistance from the Sirens, it's not really going to be too big of an issue taking fire from them. The Empire Knights out here can probably be finished off even with, you know, one volley, and one volley. So I have 3 volleys of deck gun ammunition, and at the moment I'm just basically popping Manan's Luck to get the damage resistance, trying to run through the trees as much as possible, and basically just duke shots with Aranessa as we try to get these deck gunners to finish the game. This volley will probably kill the leadership of the of the Empire Knights, and with the Terror bearing down on the Huntsmen, that is going to be army losses and a win in a really fun game. Like I said, a faction that I have absolutely no idea how to play. I don't even know if this, from what I've gleaned from watching other players play this competitively. I mean, I know RNS is crap. I know you definitely would rather have even Noctilus on foot. I have seen taken here quite a bit. Then you don't have to take the caster either, which I don't think is a particularly optimal pick. I mean, I don't know. This list felt okay. I was kind of had a week about 2 weeks ago where I was playing around with the Vampire Coast and played a bunch of games, and I was playing with Aranessa almost exclusively because, like I said, I'm playing a faction that I have no idea what's going on. I might as well have a bit of fun with it, but yeah. Pretty fun game in the end. The Depth Guard were kind of underwhelming. Surprised, like I said, with how much damage they took from the Huntsmen, who have all got reasonably good value. We shut down the cannon quite early. Thought that might actually be Hammer of the Witches when I played this game live. And from what I've seen, I think Hammer of the Witches might be somewhat of a good pick. But yeah, but no Burning Head. So that kind of emboldened, even though the Sirens really haven't done much. I think in the late game, the Terror was pretty keen, pretty clutch on the Sirens, and just keeping Aranessa alive. I mean, nearly 1,000 damage. You take that on Aranessa. But yeah, other than that, I mean, aside from the deck guns, who have all got huge value, nothing else has really stood out. Scurvy Dogs, pretty good. I think I used them quite well here. They got on the cannon piece. Crude to not allow that to come back. I think I got a couple of charges off on the Huntsman, yeah, I mean, I think the deck gunners have basically carried me other than that. So thanks to World Beater. Just add one more to this name and it'll be extremely nice. But otherwise, yeah, if you're watching, thanks for a very fun game. To everyone else who's watching, cheers for checking out the video, and we'll be back more soon. Take care.